She was standing in her kitchen, just making tea, and then everything went black. When she woke up, she was in the emergency room, IV in her arm, mask on her face, a doctor saying words no one ever wants to hear. Your heart stopped. You collapsed. You're lucky. She wasn't old, 63, healthy looking. Did yoga, ate salads, slept well, but something, silent, slow, dangerous, had been eating away at her from the inside. Not a heart condition, not cancer, not even stress. It was her thyroid, a tiny gland, barely the size of a walnut. But when it breaks, everything else follows. Energy? Gone. Memory? Foggy. Weight? Stuck. Mood? All over the place. And here's the part no one tells you. It doesn't start with a bang. It starts with little things, tiny cracks. You feel tired, but think it's your age. You gain weight, and blame the holidays. Your skin gets dry. You buy a new cream. But deep inside, your body is begging for help. Your hormones are out of sync, and the thyroid, that little powerhouse, is no longer in control. Here's the real kicker. This could go on for years, undiagnosed, misunderstood, brushed off. By the time someone listens, you're on 3 medications, and you're still exhausted. You ever seen someone suddenly snap at their grandkids? Tears for no reason, sleepless nights? It's not just emotions, it's chemical chaos. And the cause might be sitting right there on your plate, every single day. See, the thyroid doesn't just stop working, it's sensitive. It listens to what you eat, to what you drink, even how you breathe. And certain foods, yes, ordinary foods, matrar or to water or cheese, can either help you heal or slowly push you into the dark. This video isn't about magic pills or expensive supplements. It's about support, real support, from food that speaks your body's language, because you deserve to feel good, to wake up with energy, to laugh, move, remember, live. And sometimes it starts with something as simple as breakfast. Let's talk about it. Her name is Clara, 67, retired school librarian. The kind of woman who still sends birthday cards, handwritten, with stickers. She used to be a morning person, up with the sun, coffee, garden gloves, soft music on the radio. But somewhere along the way, mornings started feeling heavy. Not tired, heavy. Like her body didn't want to be in her body. At first she thought, maybe I just didn't sleep well. Then, maybe I need more exercise. Then, maybe I'm just getting old. But the worst part? She stopped feeling like herself. Books she used to love, too much effort. Neighbors she used to chat with, she avoided them. Food, it lost all flavor. And one day, standing in front of the mirror, she said something she'd never said before. I don't recognize that woman. Her hair was thinning, her skin felt paper dry, and her favorite jeans, they wouldn't even button. She went to her doctor. Blood pressure, normal. Cholesterol, a little high, nothing serious. Probably menopause, they said. Try to rest more. Maybe lose a little weight. She nodded, smiled politely, went home, and cried in her car. Weeks passed, then months, and something changed. Clara forgot her granddaughter's name, just for a second, but it shook her. I'm losing my mind, she whispered. She didn't tell anyone, not her husband, not her daughter. She was ashamed and scared. But that night, lying in bed, she made a decision. She took out her old notebook and wrote one sentence. I want to feel alive again. The next morning she started reading. Not novels, not yet. Articles, journals, interviews, and a pattern began to form. Every symptom, every strange change, every drop in energy, all pointed to the same tiny culprit, the thyroid. And here's where Clara's story turns, because she didn't jump into pills or fads. She started slow. She looked at what she was eating, what she was avoiding, and what her body might be begging for. She swapped her morning toast for something warmer. She added colors to her lunch, not from packages, but from the earth. She relearned her hunger, her sleep, her rhythm. And week by week, something incredible happened. The fog began to lift. One day she caught herself laughing, really laughing, at a joke her husband made. The next, she danced a little while doing the dishes. And on a Sunday afternoon, she opened a novel she hadn't touched in years, read 3 chapters in one sitting. Clara didn't become a different person. She became herself again. And it all started, not with a diagnosis, not with a prescription, but with a question. What if I fed my body like it wants to heal? And now, let's talk about that. Because Clara's not special. She's just like you, like me. And your body, it remembers how to heal, if you let it. Imagine there's a tiny conductor inside your neck. No baton, no spotlight, just precision. It doesn't play the music. It tells every other part of your body how to play. That's your thyroid. It's small, about the size of a plum, but it controls an entire symphony. Your heartbeat? It sets the tempo. Your body temperature? It adjusts the dial. Your digestion? It decides the pace. Your energy, mood, memory, skin, hair, sleep. The thyroid's fingerprints are everywhere. But here's the thing. It doesn't do this alone. The thyroid makes hormones, mostly T3 and T4. These are like messenger birds. They fly through your bloodstream carrying instructions. Speed up, cool down, burn more fuel, time to rest. But if the thyroid isn't getting what it needs, if it's under attack, underfed, or overwhelmed, those messages get lost, and everything starts to misfire. You feel tired but can't sleep. You eat less but gain weight. You're cold in the middle of summer. You cry and don't know why. Now here's the twist no one talks about. In many people over 50, the thyroid isn't broken. It's confused. Why? Because hormones are like recipes. They need ingredients. And your body can't make those hormones out of thin air. It needs specific nutrients. Iodine, selenium, zinc, tyrosine, iron. Without those, the thyroid is like a chef with an empty fridge. And sometimes it's not just missing ingredients. It's under attack. Your own immune system, stressed, inflamed, overworked, starts firing at the thyroid like it's the enemy. This is called Hashimoto's, an autoimmune condition, more common in women, especially after 50. And guess what fuels that fire? Chronic stress, poor sleep, refined sugar, inflammatory oils, and yes, certain healthy foods that block the thyroid's ability to function. Broccoli, kale, soy, raw cruciferous veggies. In small amounts? Fine, but eat them daily, in big portions, and they can start to interfere, like putting a pillow over the conductor's mouth. Now imagine trying to run an orchestra with no rhythm, no tempo, no cue. It sounds awful, right? That's what your body feels like when the thyroid is struggling, chaotic, out of sync, exhausted. But here's the hopeful part. The thyroid doesn't need a miracle. It needs support. And that starts with food, not extreme diets, not cutting everything out, just listening, feeding the system that's been feeding you silently for decades, because the body never forgets how to find balance. It just needs the right tools at the right time. And now, let's give it those tools. 1. The warm breakfast that changed everything. Clara used to start her mornings the same way every day. Cup of black coffee, a slice of toast, maybe a banana, if she remembered. Simple, light, harmless, or so she thought. Until one morning her hands started shaking. Not violently, just a twitch, a tremor. Then came the nausea, then the mood swings, and one morning she snapped at her husband for asking if she wanted tea. That's when she read something that stopped her cold. Your thyroid hates skipping breakfast, especially if the first thing you give it is caffeine and sugar. Turns out, the thyroid wakes up needing fuel, real fuel. And coffee on an empty stomach? That's like turning on a car with no oil. Clara switched. She started making a warm bowl of oats with chia seeds, cinnamon, and a spoon of almond butter. Sometimes she'd add stewed apples or a handful of pumpkin seeds. It wasn't trendy, it wasn't fancy, but 3 days in, she felt calmer. Her hands stopped trembling. She didn't crash at 10 a.m., and for the first time in weeks, her stomach felt settled. Warm, nutrient-rich breakfasts help stabilize blood sugar, support hormone production, and gently wake the thyroid up. Not with a slap, but with a hug, and that can change your whole day. 2. The Brazil nut trick. One night, Clara read something strange in a health forum. A woman said, "My energy came back after just eating 2 Brazil nuts a day." Clara laughed. "Nuts? That's your miracle?" But curiosity got her. So she bought a small bag, popped 2 into her mouth every morning after breakfast. 2. That's it. A week later, her nails felt harder, her thoughts sharper, her neck less stiff. And then she learned why. Brazil nuts are packed with selenium, a mineral your thyroid must have to convert its hormones into their active form. No selenium? It's like mailing a letter, but forgetting the stamp. The message never gets through. Just 2 Brazil nuts a day. That's enough selenium for most people. Not a handful, not a supplement, just 2. Clara's energy didn't explode. It returned slowly, quietly, like sunlight at dawn. It didn't feel like magic. It felt like coming back to life. The salt mistake everyone makes. Clara loved her sea salt. She'd switched years ago when a TV show said it was more natural. And it looked better on the counter, didn't it? But months later, her hair was thinning. Her skin felt dull. She was colder all the time. And then she found it, hidden in a sentence in a dusty old book. Sea salt doesn't contain iodine. Her heart sank. The thyroid needs iodine to make hormones. No iodine, no T3, no T4, just a tired, confused system running on empty. Years ago, we added iodine to table salt to prevent goiters and brain damage. It worked. But now, with the trend of natural salts and low-sodium diets, we're seeing iodine deficiencies return, quietly, especially in women over 50. Clara made one simple switch. She bought iodized salt again. Used just a little, but used it. 2 weeks later, her brain fog started to lift. "I feel here," she told her daughter. Not brilliant, not young, just present. Sometimes healing doesn't come in a pill. It comes in small, boring things. A different salt, 2 nuts, a warm bowl of oats, and the courage to ask, what does my body need that I've been ignoring? I know it's hard, when your body doesn't feel like your own anymore, when you forget the word you just had in your mouth, when you're tired but can't sleep, when people say, it's just age, and something inside you whispers, no, it's not. You're not crazy. You're not weak. You're not broken. You're just out of balance. And balance can be found again. The body is not your enemy. It's been trying to protect you all along, even in silence, even in exhaustion, even when it feels like it's given up. But it hasn't. It's waiting, listening, hoping you'll notice the signs, the soft taps, the quiet signals, the way your skin speaks, the way your eyes feel in the morning, the strange sadness that comes and goes like weather. This isn't about being young again. It's about being you again. The version of you who hums in the kitchen, who remembers birthdays, who walks without fear of falling, who laughs without the ache behind the eyes. And no, it doesn't happen overnight. Healing is not a light switch. It's a sunrise. Slow, gentle, one layer of fog at a time. Maybe it starts with a bowl of warm oats, a spoon of iodized salt, 2 humble Brazil nuts, a promise whispered into a quiet morning. I will take care of you now. Because your body is not a machine. It's a garden. And gardens bloom when they are fed, loved, and given time. So if you feel lost, start small. If you feel tired, rest deeper. If you feel broken, trust the repair. There is more life in you, more laughter, more strength, more light. Let it rise, one bite at a time, one choice at a time, one morning at a time. You're not alone. You never were. And you are not done.